Hey everybody, Kyle here. And this is my rotom. So I had a really long day at work today. And then tomorrow I have to go in early. So I thought it'd be a perfect time for me to do a Meet My Pokemon. And since Rotom's been putting in a lot of work lately, I figured I'd do one on him. And looking at this screen, you can see that he might not be anything out of the ordinary. And in the end, he's kind of not. He's a very he has a very slight modification to most rotom-washes that you see, and even then I don't believe that he's one of a kind by far. Now again, we're going to start with the way I bred him. As you can see there by the symbols below, he has perfect 31 perfect 31 IVs in every single thing but attack, because it's hard to get the sixth one, so I usually just pick one not to get. I didn't get attack on him. And yes, sorry, I do run Resto Chesto, as you can see. His moveset isn't very, is cookie cutter, but for those of you who want me to, I feel like, oh sorry, I'm moving the camera like a ton, aren't I? But just for the sake of keeping the series, what's the word? For keeping up with how consistency. I figured I'll still explain everything and why I do it. So, Volt Switch, one, it's good for scouting. If I have him out on the field and I don't want him out there, it's still some residual damage and it gets me off the field. It's good attack. It's a good attack even if you have nothing to switch into. Like if Rotom's out and there's no one left in the back, it still does really good damage, especially when you use it against people weakness to it, Pokemon weak to it. Obviously, that's obvious, but whatever. Sorry. Like I said, I had a really long day at work. I really don't feel very good. I have a horrible headache, but you don't come here to listen to me complain. You come here for Pokemon, and frankly, I love Pokemon. This makes me feel better already. Will-o-wisp is great. It's just a good hex to have. You throw it on those physical attackers. They do 50% less damage, and they take damage every turn. What do you know? Hydro Pump, because it's his special move. There's a lot of fire in the metagame. Charizard, Talonflame, Infernape, Blaziken. Although you don't see Blazikens very often, it's considered Uber now, right? I think, technically. What else? I know there's more fire. Chandelure. Occasionally you'll see Rotom Heats. And, it's also good against ground, and you see a lot of ground in the metagame, such as Mamoswine, Excadrill. Wow, I'm losing a lot of names all of a sudden. But you guys get the point. Rotom's an extremely good Talonflame counter, and I feel like Rotom Wash, at least, is one of the reasons why you don't see very many Talon. You see a lot of Talonflame still, but they're not like they used to be, I don't feel. And then Rest. I prefer the Rest over Citrus Protect, because you can use Rest if you end up in a situation where Rotom can definitely face tank things pretty well. Even if you don't have your Chesto, you can still Rest stall with the Will-o-wisp damage pretty well if you do have to use that tactic, if it comes down to it. I just feel like it has more usefulness than the Protect, but at the same time, Protect's also good because you can just completely avoid damage for a turn, and so they got the pros and cons. I personally like the Resto Chesto, also because there's been a few times, I think there was actually a battle where you saw a Breloom use Spore on my Rotom, and then because I Chesto Berry, I woke up and was able to continue my turn. It's also good to start off with against the Dark Void Smeargle, because obviously Rotom will go to sleep and then you can try to do something about it. Now we're going to move on to my EV training and all that good stuff, so we'll go up here. Obviously I have Levitate, because that's the ability Rotom gets. Is that on my screen? Ew. Alright, sorry. That's just Rotom's ability, but it's amazing because it means your electric weakness, you don't get that, your electric typing doesn't give you that ground weakness. You can Earthquake next to Rotom. You can switch him in against Earthquakes. Any ground move. Earthquake's the one that you really think about. And if you look at my nature, I am running Timid. So I'm getting that speed boost. And yes, so that's the only thing I think is a little different. Now, I don't know if this has changed, but when I first started playing ranked, everyone had the special defensive Rotom. At least that was what was common. And so I went for speed Rotom. Instead of speed creeping with my EVs, I went ahead and just threw the 10% using my nature. Now, this Rotom is level 65. So in order to give you guys an idea of what his stats are like when I actually play ranked, I thought I'd use Showdown. So let me pull it up. And there we go. So this is my spread. I have 252 into my HP. I have 124 into my defense. Oops, and I have 132 into my special defense. This is exactly what I'm running. This is my Rotom when he's set to level 50 inside a match. So there we go. I figured this, if you guys wanted to know what I run, since this Rotom isn't a 252 spread, that this would be the best way to show you. And yeah, you see right there how it recommends going for special defense and HP. I didn't do that, and that's why you see my Rotom might not take special attacks as well, but it surprises opponents by how well it can take a physical attack. And there we go. I also didn't change his name because one, he was traded to me. So that's how it is. So actually, I just realized I shouldn't take credit for the breeding. I didn't breed him, but this is the Rotom I was going for. But it was taking me a really long time. And so a friend of mine was kind enough to send me one that he hatched, that he luckily hatched two of, and he sent me one of them. He didn't change his name, but that's okay. I actually like Rotom's name. And there we are. But I'm attached to this little guy. He is amazing. When I first saw him, I thought he looked really dumb. I was like, why would you use this, freaking this thing? But you get attached to Rotom. He's like that little stray animal you take home. I even think his personality kind of matches that kind of, that thought too. But alright guys, that's my Rotom in a nutshell. Not too different from the standard, except for, maybe the speed and the split defenses. But yeah, there's my Rotom. That's going to be an interesting title to write. But alright guys, sorry for the short video today. Sorry I don't have anything exciting going on. Tomorrow I get off kind of early. I have one of my Poke friends, one of my fellow Poke trainers coming over, and we're going to be looking at some strategies and sharing some videos with each other. And so, I might have something to bring up there. But I'll definitely have more content tomorrow night. So alright guys, hope you're having a good one, and goodbye.